In Chapter 4 of our East Coast Trail adventure, we head north from Miners Point campsite and eventually stealth camp near Sandy Cove, some 91 kilometers.
Good morning. Yesterday was a particularly tough day. I know we say that a lot. But we got into camp about 5:30 last night. It was an ECT camp without platforms. And it was quite nice, actually. Not luxurious, but we did have flat spots for our tent. Also a privy. So now, waking up in the morning, it rained most of the night, and now it's misty, and the waves are smashing against the shores here in Newfoundland. Glorious morning, really. Crush and I turned left when we should have went straight. We zigged when we should have zagged. Good for Crusher. He said, let's check our map. We haven't seen a marker for a while. So we did, and we were off trail. So it's an obvious mistake because it's a clear path. Looks like an ATV trail. And that's the actual trail there. Look at the old car or something there. Cool, very cool.
We weren't off trail for very long. Thank goodness for the GPS on our phones. Once back on trail, we hiked for a while in the mist along the coast. Then back into the uncut trail. So wet, dangerous, and they destroyed our pants and bloodied our legs.
Oh my God, so... This is very cool. We're hiking on a plateau, possibly. It's really hard to tell where we're hiking because there's so much fog has settled in around us. We think the ocean's over there somewhere. It would be logical, but we can't see it. It is so cool. It does remind me of hiking the tundra up in the far north when I've had that experience, or some of the high alpine areas in either the Rockies or maybe the Adirondacks. No trees. Even the bushes are rare. Very cool. We are now in one of the fields hiking and surrounded by these boulders. It's super cool. Kind of like a gnarly random Stonehenge. And if you keep heading all the way around, you get to Crusher.
The biggest rock.
The biggest rock.
Strange to some perhaps, but these fog-dense plateaus were some of my favorite moments on the ECT.
The clouds are rolling out, and as the clouds rolled out, what presented itself? Petty Cove.
The ECT wilderness paths are wonderful, without a doubt, but it was the community walks that showcased the joyous culture and the generous people of Newfoundland. We eventually settled into the chairs of the general store, refilled our water bottles, spoiled ourselves with some snacks, and met some wonderful people.
Alright, we're Jimmy
And Jose.
We're finishing cycling through Canada. It took us 99 days. We're from Montreal.
Filled with cheer, ice cream, and some rested legs, we returned to the trail. So far, the rain had held off. You always needed to stay alert. You didn't want to take the wrong turn when the cliffs were only a few centimeters to the right.
The drunken trucker.
I'm Linda, the healthy hiker from Collingwood, Ontario.
I am Carol, Best Western from Oregon in the USA.
So here we are at Cape Spear, most eastern part of North America. Exciting. So we're actually trying to find that point. It's around here somewhere. We've got some people up ahead of us giving us some directions. They seem to think it's down this way. Anyway, we're darn close anyway. For those who don't know, that was a foghorn. All right. I know it's weird to imagine that we're in the most eastern part of North America. So just that way is Europe.
After leaving Cape Spear, we headed to St. John's where we spent the night with some friends. We returned to the trail the next day, clean and well fed.
Good morning. I think we're on day 10. We're just leaving St. John's, heading north towards Pooch Cove. And last night we stayed at a friend's house in St. John's. The kind people took us in. We were able to wash our clothes, get a warm meal, and bathe. So we're back on track with just a small delay, and it's raining. The good news is the forecast for the next 6 days is clear, which means this may be the last bit of rain we see on the East Coast Trail.
North of the city, the trail was loaded with some serious ups and downs, yet it was well maintained and very enjoyable, despite the rain.
It's lunch break, and we picked up a Subway sandwich before we left town. So this is the decadence out here in the East Coast Trail. Thank you, Subway. Well, we paid for it, though.
Thank us.
Yum.
The trail remained hilly and well groomed, but the rain kept coming and wouldn't let up for another 8 hours.
We don't know what this is. Some space age facility. At the bottom of the hill. We're coming out here. Maybe we can see some signage when we get down there.
The trail led us to a graffiti-covered abandoned facility. It was interesting and mysterious for sure, but we had no energy to explore it. We were soaking wet, and we just wanted to pitch our tents and dry off.
I'm in my tent, dry as can be. It's been raining all day. It's still raining. We pitched our tent in the rain. So when I finally got in my tent, everything was wet. Totally soaked, so I've been able to strip down, dry myself off with my little towel. That's it, enough to dry myself off. Put on my long johns, put on a toque, put on a buff, and I'm cozy as can be. But let me show you where I put my wet clothes. Well, my tent, I use trekking poles to support it. It's made by Z-Packs, a duplex right now. And with the trekking poles, I'm able to hang up my backpack on the trekking pole straps. And then from my backpack, it's like a Christmas tree, underpants, hats, bandanas, flip it around. I got my top, my rain top, rain bottoms, and I got socks. Let's pivot all the way around. Socks on this side. So I wrung them out in the vestibule, all the muck there, best I can. And I just to give you a hint, they will not dry overnight. It's too wet. But at least they won't be wet inside the tent. And on the other side, I've done something similar. I've got my shorts and my shirt, and they're also hooked on the trekking pole strap.
That works for me. I'm inside the tent, as dry as can be, and enjoying the moment. Good morning, day 11. Well, day 10 was rainy, rainy, rainy. By the time we got to our campsite, which was around 4:30, there wasn't much left of us that was dry. So we were able to get into our tent and, switch into some dry clothes. But this morning, we're wearing the wet clothes again. So it's not the best start in the morning, but we'll be right as rain in a couple hours when everything dries out. So that being said, oh yes, one of the biggest issues was Crusher got into his tent last night, all drying off. Oh, we're so relieved. We're in our dry long johns. He blows up his air mattress. It has a leak. Oh man. And so I lent him my sit pad. That was his sleep pad last night. Anyhow, Crusher, do you have anything to add to that?
Sleep was a little rough, but I got in about 4 hours, so good as gold.
All right.
Get her going. Get it fixed today.
Us true mountain men, that's all we need is 4 hours. Wet and ready to go. See you at the next stop. I'm just thinking, as I'm hiking on this near perfect day. Yesterday was a nasty day. It was cold and wet, and every step reminded us of that. And we struggled through. We got to camp, pitched our tent, and survived. But after every bad day, inevitably, a good day will follow. And that's what we have today. A near perfect hiking day. The sun is out, it's warming us up, drying out our clothes. Doesn't get much better than this.
We stumbled upon a massive trail crew initiative. Crazy good work by the generous volunteers of the East Coast Trail Association. We finished another trail and began the Silver Mine head path, heading north towards Torbay.
Marilou de Gatineau.
Hey, I'm Tony from Germany.
I'm at the beach at Torbay. Nice little community. There's houses everywhere spotted on the hills. Quite amazing where they were able to build their foundations on these rocks. Anyway, beautiful little community. I'm not gonna stay here long though. Just hiking through. There's the great town of Torbay. Didn't see much of it, but it looks pretty nice. And now we're at a boat put in, and this is quite good. Check out this mural.
Tapper's Cove, just north of Torbay, had a beautiful marina with some wonderful murals.
All good things must come to an end. Heading out of town. This is magical. It was time for a break. I was looking for a place to rest my feet, maybe a dry place to put my butt. And right here is a set of lawn chairs, courtesy of, looks like Ronnie Ryan's family. They put an honorarium here for him. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. This is pretty typical East Coast trail stuff. We do it right, or do we go left, or do we go straight? Usually straight, not getting too close, is a bad choice.
Between the towns of Torbay and Flatrock, the trails were some of the best on the ECT. Great scenery, moderate pitch, and the weather was near perfect. Again.
Well, everything's good. We're doing just great. The trail is excellent in this part. And now we're in Flatrock. Beautiful little place. So we just have to head over those hills into the forest. And we're going to be able to pitch probably only a few hours outside of Pooch Cove. We're going to have a bunk for tomorrow night. And that's the place we get to have a good meal, clean ourselves off, wash our clothes, get recharged for the last part of the East Coast Trail. This is some of the best trail stuff I've ever seen. Steps carved right into the rock. Now that is commitment. Now these are awesome in their own right. I see some more up here, carved right into the rock. Amazing.
There was also waterfalls, bridges, and some well-made stair trails.
So that's where I slept last night, on that point over there, kind of, a little bit past. Went around there, there's Torbay, came up over this point, there's Flatrock, and we followed this ridge, and we're here now. It's been a good morning. Actually, it's just early afternoon now. We've had a good morning.
Hello, I'm Ben from Fernie, British Columbia.
Hey, I'm Molly and this is Derek and we're from Toronto, Ontario.
The trail today was just wonderful. So much so that I bagged some big Ks today. I eventually pitched my tent in a beautiful stealth location on the edge of a cliff overlooking the ocean.
Life is good. I pitched a stealth campsite over here, and it looks like we're going to have a really, really good night.
Earlier today, Crusher was forced off trail with an injury. He was taken to a hospital in St. John's, where he's still awaiting a complete diagnosis. We hoped he would be patched up by now and returned to the trail. This did not happen. It is still unknown if he will rejoin me on the adventure.
And on the next chapter of our East Coast Trail adventure,